Hey everyone, this is Kristin Coaching. Thank you so much for joining me for this video today. It's good to see all of you. And I'm really, actually, although we're going to be talking about a really hard topic today, I'm excited to be talking about it as well because it's a really hard topic to talk about, and a lot of times people feel ashamed that they're in this type of a situation and they don't want to talk to their friends or family about it. So really, we're going to be bringing light to a topic that can be really, really difficult for people, but hopefully helpful. So the purpose of this video is to talk about emotional abuse, and more specifically to recognize if you yourself are in an emotionally abusive relationship, or if you know somebody who's in an emotionally abusive relationship. I hope that this video will help you or your friend or your family member or your colleague to be able to analyze their own relationship and see that they're in a situation that is not healthy and does not result in a happy, long-lasting relationship. Emotional abuse can be very subtle because it doesn't involve physical things. It's not physical domestic violence where people are getting hit or pushed or shoved, but instead it's a day-to-day communication between you and your partner that causes you to feel down and have low self-esteem and low self-worth, and over time feel like you are not worth anything and you're not worth being in a relationship. So I'm going to be talking about important signs that your partner says or does that is a sign of being in an unhealthy and an emotionally abusive relationship. So the first thing I want to point out is one sign of being in an unhealthy, emotionally abusive relationship is when your partner accuses you of being too sensitive or too emotional or having too much attitude and blaming you for their negative remarks towards you or their abusive comments towards you. It's pretty much saying, oh, you're too sensitive, you're doing this, and it's a way of giving them permission to treat you a certain way because you're the one who's overreacting to things and you're the one who's too emotional about it. So blaming you and calling you too sensitive or too emotional or you have too much attitude, that's a sign of an emotionally abusive relationship, or could be a sign. All of these are red flags. The second one is your significant other makes it seem that you are wrong most of the time. You're wrong when it comes to fights and arguments. He or her is always right and you are always wrong, and that's how it is. And you can't win an argument or a conversation because you are not on the right side. So telling you're wrong is a really big sign of being in an abusive relationship. And then another one is your partner, your significant other often points out your flaws, points out things about you that are negative, things about you that are not good, and creates that in a negative light. Because let's be real, if we're in a healthy relationship, yes, we all have flaws, but if it's healthy, our partner is not going to make us feel bad about our flaws or make us feel like our flaws make us less than who we are and less than what we deserve in life. But a relationship that isn't healthy is going to point out flaws and try to make you feel as bad about them as you can, and get your self-esteem to get as low as possible. Okay, so your significant other can absolutely point out flaws, and that's a sign and a red flag of being in an unhealthy, emotionally abusive relationship. And then another one is your partner is always, or your significant other is always blaming other people for their behaviors, especially blaming you, but it can also just be blaming anybody else. No sense of ownership and personal responsibility for anything that goes wrong in their life. It's always this person's fault, that person's fault, her fault, his fault, your fault. And just this sense of blame and displacement onto other people. And that can be a really big red flag. So that's something to look out for. And then another thing is if you're feeling humiliated, or your friend or family member is feeling humiliated and put down a lot, that's a bad sign too, okay? Because your partner is trying to do that. Your partner wants to break you down and make you feel, again, that you're not deserving of anything good and you're not deserving of a healthy relationship. So it's huge to be able to recognize that and see that. Another sign of an unhealthy relationship is if you get cursed at by your significant other, or they call you names, they degrade you. A lot of times in an unhealthy relationship, people will even talk bad about you in front of other people. So if you're in a group setting, your significant other will kind of like put you down and say things that are negative in front of other people. And that's also a sign of an emotionally abusive relationship. Also, your significant other not showing you empathy or compassion for when you're hurting and when you're sad. They'll just completely disconnect, or they'll even make you feel guilty for being sad or upset. And this lack of empathy and understanding and this lack of compassion just will bring the victim down even more and feel that they're not worth anything. Again, and then these signs are over time and they're subtle. They can be subtle, but it happens over time and slowly tears away your ability to recognize that you deserve greatness and you deserve something amazing when it comes to a relationship. And then just a couple more signs of what can be a red flag in terms of an emotionally abusive relationship is that your significant other will view you as an extension of him or herself. So it's not, and that kind of means that they're more focused on how they look because you're with them. So you're kind of like an extension of him or herself, but you're not exactly a whole individual entity. It's really about, okay, how is my girlfriend or boyfriend making me look? Am I looking bad because she or he did this? So you're kind of just like an extension. You're almost like a little, I don't want to use the word puppet, but you're not a whole entity and a whole body with your own decisions and your own situation that's going on. But everything you do affects the person, affects the person who is doing the emotional abuse. So hopefully that makes sense, but that's also a little subtle thing to notice. And then the last thing is you feel teased. Sometimes your significant other will tease you about things and make you feel bad that you feel a certain way and make you feel that you shouldn't be feeling a certain way. And these are just a few signs of emotional abuse or signs that your relationship is unhealthy. But I really wanted to bring light to that because a lot of people don't know what's going on and they don't have the ability to analyze that they're in a yucky, unhealthy situation and they need to do something about it. Again, a lot of times people make the excuse, well, my partner doesn't hit me or my significant other doesn't hit me, so we're good to go. That's not true. Emotional abuse can be just as damaging as physical abuse and domestic violence. It absolutely can, because it brings you down, makes you feel like nothing, and you endure a relationship where your needs are not getting met at all and you're feeling awful day in and day out. So it's really, I hope that this video will help bring light into some things that abuser can do to you to make you feel that you are not worth much. So let me know what you think of this video, and please feel free to comment below or ask me any questions. I'll be happy to answer those. And please subscribe to my YouTube page. I'll be giving more tips on relationships and videos on how to have a healthy and long-lasting relationship. Thank you for joining me, Kristin Coaching, today.